Thanks for coming out. So the novel is, not to mention A Nice Life, and it is an examination of the madness of corporate America, told through the eyes of someone that lived through it. All totally fiction, of course.
Of course.
So here's one of the short scenes. Is the narrator goes on a lot of business trips, day trips to the headquarters, and this is when he comes back from one of the day trips to a place that may or may not be a lot like Reston. These day trips ask a lot of you, almost so much that you find yourself fondly reminiscing about the good old days you never knew, the days when horse-drawn carriages were cutting-edge business travel, days when people might have fantasized about a few hundred miles in less than an hour, not anticipating planes that make your mind feel microwaved. Cooked on the surface, but still raw inside, it's all in a day's work as the cab carries me home through disorienting yet familiar streets. Survival suburban style, a metropolis in transition, trying its best to live up to the image it was designed to imitate. Sprung from the minds of forward-looking people who are trying to recreate the past. On the corner, high school kids stand beside a phone booth making no calls. A quick right turn and I'm feeling the money dread as we cruise past several blocks of four-car families. Being outside the city is safer, particularly if you prefer the sound of crickets to cop sirens. Eventually, I'm deposited in the middle ground of this middle-brow town, and for the lack of any better options, I'm relieved. And yet, this is supposed to happen later, with wife and kids in a basement to be banished to after hours. I'll deal with that later, I think. My front door is the one mystery to which I have the key, but for some reason I still feel as though I'm sneaking up on a stranger every time I return from a trip. I'm not sure who I expect to see, who might be hiding from me, who possibly could have found their way into my modest refuge from friends and memories. With Pavlovian precision, I make my way to the medicine cabinet and pour myself a bracing plug of bourbon. It's more than I need or deserve, I think, but I don't want the bottle to suspect I was unfaithful in another town, waiting for my return flight, for instance, in a cramped and crappy airport bar at LaGuardia. If this were a movie, I think, mostly in the past, but even today, I'd grab my crystal decanter filled with obviously expensive spirits and administer that potion the old-fashioned way, needing no ice cubes, especially since I'd never get around to drinking it, as it's only a prop, a cliche. No one reaches for that tumbler these days, except in the movies. The question is, did they ever? Even in the 50s? Or has it always been part of the script?
I like that. It is part of the script.